Holy Spirit, manifested in or out of a physical body, is Yahshua. His name has been erroneously substituted with the name Jesus. Lord and God are titles and not names. The Apostle Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, tells us in 1 Corinthians 8 and 5 that there are Lord's many and God's many. But we now know each Lord must have a name, and each God must have a name also. Elohim is a title, but unlike Lord and God, Elohim is a divine title. That means Elohim is the title that our Creator chose for himself. Jesus is a name, but it is an erroneous name. A minor investigation on your part in a good dictionary or encyclopedia would prove that neither the Hebrew language, the Greek language, nor the Latin language have any characters or letters in their alphabet that would produce the sound that is made by this letter J. Neither was there a letter J in the English language until some 1,400 years after the Messiah's death. Therefore, such names as Jesus and Jehovah are impossible renderings for the true and original name of our Father and his Son. Christ is a title just like Lord and God. Yahweh is spirit, and in his pure spirit state, he is incomprehensible and inscrutable. He is the ultimate source, substance, limits, and bounds of everything. We have Yahweh, in his pure spirit state, symbolized on this chart as a cloud. Yahweh is not a cloud. He merely chose a cloud to symbolize himself, because a cloud has no particular or descriptive shape and form. We have drawn this cloud all around the edges of this chart to show you that everything on the chart is within the cloud. In like manner, everything in the universe abides within the pure spirit state of Yahweh. Yahweh, knowing that man could not perceive of him in this pure spirit state, took on shape and took on form right within himself as Elohim. This is the Word or Son, a super incorporeal being that is having the shape and form of a man, but without flesh and blood. This form can only be seen in divine visions and understood in divine revelations. Later on, this self-same Spirit manifested himself in a physical body and walked the earth plane as Yahshua the Messiah, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. Now there is only one name given unto salvation, and we must know that name. So the simple yet intelligent question that we should ask ourselves is, what was the name of the Savior during the time that he walked the earth plane? A further understanding of this name and title may be had by reading the preface of the Holy Name Bible. Also at this school, we teach by the divine pattern of the universe. It is called the divine pattern because it is Yahweh's pattern. After Yahweh led the children of Israel out of Egypt, he called Moses atop Mount Sinai and showed him the tabernacle pattern in a vision. Yahweh instructed Moses to build one exactly like it in the wilderness of Sinai. The pattern consists of a most holy place, and a court round about. These three compartments make up the one tabernacle pattern. In this school, we show proof that everything in the universe is made and operates according to the structure and the function of this threefold tabernacle pattern, and that absolutely nothing escapes the pattern. The primary constitutional objectives and aims of this class are as follows. First, to help you find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and actually exists. Second, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah, without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. Third, to investigate the unexplained spirit law, or so-called law of nature, and the powers latent in man. To encourage and promote the study of the Scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern practical and occult science. Fifth, to extirpate current superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Sixth, to learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Seventh, to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons, operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. Eighth, to earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith, which was once delivered unto the sons or children of Yahweh. Ninth, to make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man must be saved, saving the name of Yahshua the Messiah. And 10th, to inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah, with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. Our watchword is peace. Our slogan is speak the truth. At this time, we will have a prayer by Dr. Deborah Laraway. Our scripture for today is Deuteronomy, the 29th chapter, to be read by Dr. Susan Craig, and I will be doing the announcements at the end of class.
Good morning, class. It's great to be back in class again and learn something of Yahweh and his whole purpose, pattern, and plan, and that we gain more understanding of him. And with that, I'll say hallelujah.
And we took their land and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Ye stand this day all of you before Yahweh your Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into covenant with Yahweh thy Elohim, and into his oath which Yahweh thy Elohim maketh with thee this day, that he may establish today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a Elohim, as he hath said unto thee, and as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before Yahweh our Elohim, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which we passed by. And ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from Yahweh our Elohim, to go and serve the idols of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahweh shall blot out his name from under heaven. And Yahweh shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which Yahweh hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that is not sown nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath Yahweh done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served idols and worshipped them, idols whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, and we may do all the words of this law. Deuteronomy 29.
Good morning, class. I would like to remind everyone at this time to please quiet all cell phones and electronic devices so that our class is not disturbed. I'd also like to take this moment to welcome our visiting brethren from the Southfield class, Dr. Marilyn Domitz. Thank you for joining with us. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here. Choir.
I'll do
what He wants me to.
whatever He wants.
Whatever He wants me to do.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to stand my test. I'll let my little light shine.
I'll let my little light shine.
For some lost sheep,
Some lost sheep try to find.
I'll go through the storm and rain.
Under the storm and rain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I will do Yah's will. I will do His will. It's mighty nice to do Yah's will. He bore His cross up the rugged hill. It was mighty nice. He gave me His life. Oh yes. When it's over one day, He'll let us be by His side. And until that day comes, I'll do
what He wants me to.
whatever He wants.
Whatever He wants me to do.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to stand my test.
I'll try to stand my test.
I'll let my little light shine.
I'll let my little light shine.
For some lost sheep,
Some lost sheep try to find.
I'll go through the storm and rain.
Under the storm and rain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I will do His will. Oh, oh, oh. I will do Yah's will. It's mighty nice.
It's mighty nice
to do Yah's will. He bore His cross up the rugged hill.
The rugged hill.
It was mighty nice. He gave me His life. Oh yes. When it's over one day, He'll let me by His side. But until that day comes, I'll do
what He wants me to.
whatever He wants.
Whatever He wants me to do.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to do my best.
I'll try to stand my test.
I'll try to stand my test.
I'll let my little light shine.
I'll let my little light shine.
For some lost sheep,
Some lost sheep try to find.
I'll go through the storm and rain.
Under the storm and rain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I'll try hard not to complain.
I will do His will. Oh, oh, oh. I will do Yah's will. Oh, oh, oh. I will do His will. Oh, oh, oh. I will do His will. Oh, 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 oh. Praise Yahshua.
Tell me, what would you do?
Without Yahshua,
Tell me, what would you do?
without Yahshua
In your life, tell me, what would you say?
Without Yahshua,
I want to know, how would you pray?
without Yahshua,
Tell me, what would you do without Yahshua in your life? Tell me, what would you do?
without Yahshua,
Who would see you through?
without Yahshua,
Wouldn't know right from wrong
without Yahshua
in your life. Tell me, what would you say?
without
I
Yahshua,
want to know, how would you pray?
without Yahshua,
Tell me, what would you do without Yahshua in your life? I'm glad I've got Yahshua in my life. Helps me on my journey day by day. Hey, every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I'll pray. I couldn't get along,
without Yahshua,
couldn't sing this song,
without Yahshua,
wouldn't know how to pray,
without Yahshua,
wouldn't know what to say.
without Yahshua,
Angels couldn't sing,
without Yahshua,
joy bells wouldn't ring.
without Yahshua,
I couldn't clap my hands,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't tap my feet,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't run this race,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't stand the pace.
without Yahshua,
Life wouldn't mean a thing,
without Yahshua,
life wouldn't mean a thing,
without Yahshua,
life wouldn't mean a thing,
Yahshua,
life wouldn't mean a thing,
Yahshua,
life wouldn't mean a thing,
Yahshua,
life wouldn't mean a thing.
Yahshua,
Tell me, what would you do without Joshua in your life? I'm glad I've got Joshua in my life. Helps me on my journey day by day. And hey, every time I feel the Spirit moving, yeah, moving in my heart, I'll pray. I couldn't get along,
without Yahshua,
couldn't sing the song,
without Yahshua,
wouldn't know how to pray,
without Yahshua,
wouldn't know what to say.
without Yahshua,
Angels couldn't sing,
without Yahshua,
joy bells wouldn't ring.
without Yahshua,
I couldn't clap my hands,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't pat my feet,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't run this race,
without Yahshua,
I couldn't stand the pace.
without Yahshua,
Life wouldn't mean a thing,
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 without Yahshua,
my life wouldn't mean a thing.
without Yahshua.
Tell me, what would you do without Yahshua in your life?
Thank you, choir. All right, a little announcement here to make before we get started. Brethren, please see the attachment sent to you in your emails this morning. It outlines the topic of our upcoming seminar next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the topic is Satan divided against himself. Just a reminder, and you hear that again at the end of class, too. All right. Our first speaker for today will be our visiting brethren from the Southfield class. Yeah, Dr. Marilyn Domitz.
Thank you. I'd like to say good morning to the school. And did you ever think, what would you do without Yahshua? Let's go over here. Oh, gotcha. Whoa. Yahweh is spirit, Elohim is spirit, and Yahshua is spirit. The best present that you could ever get is Yahshua. Present kingdom age. Being able to have a knowledge and understanding and stability to go on until the time has come that we move to the next stage. You see all the charts, a lot of them have a cloud. And that means we are in fire. We ain't going to get burned up, hopefully. You want a knowledge of your Creator, Yahshua, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua. These three are one. Yahweh is pure spirit, Elohim is shape and form, and Yahshua is your salvation. Gas, proton, nucleus, but one. Most holy place, court roundabout, but one. Your finger, and it's very simple. But you never thought about it until someone brought you into class to tell you about your Creator. These three are one. You walk, Yahweh, Yahweh. It's better when you have hard shoes on, you could hear Yahweh. Your arms go Yahweh, Yahweh. And you know, if you've ever seen, I'm sure, movies and they show the army, Yahweh, they're marching, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Dr. Henry C. Kinley, in the year of 1931, had a divine vision and revelation and sent teachers out to show you about Yahweh, which I keep going back to, Yahshua. I'm sorry. It's hard to remember everything, especially when you're up here. On this chart, Aya, Asher, Aya. I will be Yahweh, I will be Yahshua, or I could have the devil in you. You don't want him. You want him cast out of you. So you can have salvation from Yahshua Messiah, who is your teacher, your father, and your creator. Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Thank you, Dr. Domitz. Our next speaker for this morning will be Dr. Marta Serna.
Good morning, class. Well, this is a surprise. Okay. I enjoyed the word of the previous speaker, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua. I'm excited that next weekend we're going to have the seminar that we were talking about for the past, I guess, month or so, and we got material. That's something is dear to my heart because I love current event and how it relates to this teaching. So that's going to be phenomenal in my view. Not too often we have a chance to see, well, let me put it this way. What a privilege or what a blessing it is to see in our lifetime these events You know what I mean? We talked about it from the standpoint of Egypt, what happened in Egypt, what happened when the end of the world in Noah. And it's coming to an end. I used to play chess when I was a kid, and do chess. And in the chessboard, you have kings and queens. You can see all the players in position. The queen is dead. So think about it that way. Okay. Also remember that Satan, yes, he has power, but he only has the power that Yahweh gives him. Everything that he's doing is because Yahweh allowed it. He cannot do anything that Yahweh did not allow. So all the event that is going on is because Yahweh wants it. That said, hopefully everyone is on time, including myself. Next week, I'm always late. So, can we get Genesis? I want to talk a little bit about Abrahamic promise. I believe it's 12:1 through 4. Then I want to get Joseph a little bit. What I have in my heart and mind is the pattern. But to talk about the pattern, you have to go back to the promise and how did they get down here, and then what happened up here. And let's see where Yeshua take me with that. So can you do 12, I believe 12:1 through 4?
Genesis 12:1 through 4. Now Yahweh had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I'll make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
Okay, thank you. So Abraham departed. That's a promise that Yahweh made with Abraham. In order to fulfill that promise, Abraham had a son, and his son was right here, Isaac. And then Isaac had Jacob and Esau. Okay, Jacob was married to Rachel and Leah. Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, and he had 2 sons by Rachel. That was Joseph and Benjamin. So we want to talk a little bit about Joseph, because Yahweh used Joseph for his purpose. So I believe, and we know, and I believe Friday we talked about it. I believe one of the scriptures read Friday about Joseph. Joseph went through a lot in order to come down to Egypt, and it was not an easy process, I would say, for lack of a better description. It was through a lot of tribulation, and all the things that Joseph suffered through that. So I want to pick up some of the thoughts. And I want to start where his brother was a little jealous. In his coat a little bit, he had a dream.
Genesis, you want 37 and 1.
Yeah, that's imperfect.
Genesis 37 and 1. Hear me or
Barely
better?
can hear you.
Okay, there we go.
That sounds better.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Genesis 37 and 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed. I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out to the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, the dreamer cometh.
You know, hold on a second there. Isn't that, and you know, we always talk about how you can detect Satan, you know, through the ages and dispensation. Isn't that what happened to Adam's first, Cain and Abel?
Cain was jealous.
Abel killed Cain.
Cain
Killed Abel. Yeah.
He was jealous.
Yeah, they were jealous. Same principle. Please continue.
20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beasts have devoured him, and we shall see what will come of his dreams.
Okay, that's good. So we know, I want to jump where he was put in a well, and I believe one of his brothers spared his life.
That's the next verse.
Oh, that's next. Oh, my God. Perfect. Let's continue on then.
Genesis 37 and 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty, There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread.
You know, if you think about the pit, that's a burial. That's a burial. And the coat of many colors, wasn't the
Veil.
high priest
It's a
wears
veil. That's
wear
right.
coats of many colors on the breast? Yeah. And continue. I want to jump a little bit, but continue.
Okay. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our
Wasn't Yeshua sold for 30 silvers?
sold out. Sold
You see how the principle keep manifesting? It's to show forth. This teaching is all about, and it's all about Yeshua and show forth, Yeshua. So please continue.
And let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him.
Right.
For he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. 28. Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt.
So, from Canaan land, Joseph is ending up in Egypt. Can you jump to where he went into prison? I know I'm jumping a little bit, but I want to get to Moses, really, is where I want to get to a little bit.
I think it's 40.
Yeah, 40.
Okay. Genesis 40 and 1.
So we know that Moses served many of the Egyptian. Then he had the, I call it the lady in red, based on the Matrix. The Matrix.
Yeah.
Remember the one, and he was this. That lady, Neo, was paid attention to that
I see it.
lady.
Thank you.
So this is when you look at this, that lady wanted something to do with Joseph, and it's the, but anyway, and he went to prison a little bit.
39 and 17 is
Okay.
kind of, but
Okay.
I don't know, do you want the garment and the lie? Do you want it, or do you want me to Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm trying to see.
Well, let's pick up where she wanted him.
Okay.
And based on that, he went to prison. How about something like that?
Okay, I might as well start at 39 and 1.
Okay, then.
honestly. Okay. Genesis 39 and 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him out of the hands of the Ishmaelites. Bought him out of the hand of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And Yahweh was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of Yahweh was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Here it comes, Marta. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. And she said, Lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand.
You see, you can see Satan's hands in that,
Yeah.
just like you can see him here, You can trace him.
Yeah.
Please continue.
There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me, but thee, because thou art his wife.
Right.
How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Yahweh? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie.
I wonder how many days did she been doing
probably
that?
40.
Based on, I'm pretty sure if we do a little research, it's about 40, you know.
Who knows, yeah. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business. And there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by the garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. And it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice.
See, he is the father of lies.
That's right.
And you can trace him. Please continue.
And it came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you're
Okay, thank you. And he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out.
What
And
a liar.
I know, right?
Continue.
Yep. 39 and 19. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
Right. That's good. So we know Joseph came down. He's in prison. You know, I think there's a baker, right?
Baker and a butler.
And a butler, and he interpreted your dreams. And was it the butler or the one?
The butler was restored.
The butler was restored. So can we go? And then the king of that time, the Pharaoh, had a dream, and he could not interpret the dream. And the butler remembered Joseph from being in prison. So can we pick that up a little bit?
Yep.
I just want to get there a little bit.
Genesis 41 and 1.
Okay.
And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and beheld, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed. And they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river.
Can you jump to where
No.
he interprets the dream?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. So we're
Yeah.
going to jump a little bit.
Okay. I think, 14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily. Did you want the part about the butler or no?
No, that's good. And,
Okay.
you're good where you're at.
Okay,
Yeah.
14. Okay. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. Elohim shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them. But they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke.
Daniel, could you jump, please?
Just
jump?
do the interpretation?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank
sorry.
you. No, you're doing great.
Okay.
I'm just watching the clock and watching everything.
Yeah, I got you. I think it's 28, 25?
25,
Okay.
yes.
The next verse almost. Okay, 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim showeth Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the earth with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Elohim is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land.
Can you jump to where he becomes the overseer of all things, please? Should be
33, thank you. 41 and 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years.
right.
And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
So Joseph became like second in command, like the king. So then let's jump to where there's a famine in Canaan, and the kids, all of the Joseph brothers came down. So that should be around 45.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath Paneah, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt, and Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh the king.
So we know that Yahshua started his ministry at the age of 30,
Yeah.
you know, and he did minister for 3 years after that.
Right.
Also, if we look at the pattern, the gate is 30, the door is 3. Please continue.
Okay. I'm trying to find the exact. 'cause-
It should be,
His brothers come down?
yeah,
yeah,
it should be
yeah.
right around
Chapter 43.
43. Oh, okay. Says it. Okay.
yeah,
40.
so there was once in the years of plenty, he stored the food, he was in charge of,
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
and then there was a famine in
Okay.
Canaan land.
Okay.
42.
Okay. 42.
The first one.
Thank you. Is it 1? 42 and 1? Now when Jacob saw, okay, 42 and 1, Genesis. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another? And then it's 2. And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him.
Right.
And
That's
this-
good.
Okay.
So, going advance the story a little bit. We know he came down. Joseph recognized his brother. He set up his brother a little bit. He talked about his brother and Benjamin. Went and got Benjamin, and I want to jump to where Jacob come down with all the family.
Is it?
So you can
16?
see, Canaan land is it's like the most holy place. If you, okay, and they're coming down. They're coming down. This is like Jerusalem above. It's an example. This is showing forth that Yahweh took in shape and form. He came down. And so please continue a little bit.
Genesis 46:1.
46.
And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto Elohim of his father Isaac. And Elohim spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am Elohim, the Elohim of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation.
Great nation.
I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him.
How much? Like total of 70 of them, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
altogether, because Joseph was already there.
70.
Yeah.
So 70, and then what happened? They multiplied in Egypt. And so this is Yahweh showing forth, carrying out His promise. At this time, when He was carrying out the promise, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not know the name of Yahweh. So now I want you to jump into, so they multiplied, and I want to go where Yahweh, I don't want the name, but Moses a little bit, so I would say Exodus
1 and 7.
yeah.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly,
Right.
and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us. And so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Isn't that amazing how Yahweh, continue?
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick.
I want to go down where and Pharaoh gave the commandment to kill the firstborn.
Is it, you got it?
22nd.
Thank you. 1 and 22, okay. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Yeah, so that's a decree, because when Yahshua come, he's going to come on also under that decree. Read up a little bit on that, where Moses killed the Egyptians.
13, 15? Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to say. 13, thank you. 2 and 13 of Exodus.
So we know that
11.
Actually, you know what? Before I jump there, let's read where the Pharaoh's daughter
Oh, yeah.
picked up Moses and got Moses out of the river's brink. And
Okay, 2 and 1.
okay,
And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi, and the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
3 months.
And when
okay.
she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. Thank you. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked alongside by the river. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children."
Now she knew that there was a decree. They were supposed to kill the firstborn.
Exactly.
But she had compassion. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Now we know that the Hebrew, the mom, raised the child, and she returned Moses back to the princess. And so Moses grew up in the house of Pharaoh, really. Isn't that wonderful how Yahweh puts everything right underneath your nose and you don't even know it? You don't see it, you know. So I want to go, so Moses became a prince. He was well known. I want to where he killed the Egyptian.
11, thank you. 2 and 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said unto him that did the wrong, Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Well, was that Aaron?
They say.
That was Aaron, right? His brother Aaron, right?
Yeah.
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 So, and then the king heard about it. What happened?
Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, Surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. And the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water.
Okay. So now, so he came down, and they multiplied. Moses was, it's going to be used like a type of Yahshua. He's going up. Now he is here in the wilderness, and there is water, right? And what happened? Can you continue reading there? When he helped the seven
Okay, yep. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters.
7 daughters.
And they came and drew water, and filled their troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, How is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread.
Okay.
And
That's good.
okay.
So we know that Moses now, so Yahweh's purpose, you know, from Abraham promise, he's going back up. He's here in the wilderness. Let's do that. He has a vision.
3 and 1,
3 and
Exodus.
1.
Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of
Now
the desert.
Moses was here for 40 years before he had this vision.
That's right.
Okay. So continue.
And he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
Right.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt.
So he was having a vision. Continue, please.
And when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of thy father.
So here is Yahweh identifying himself. Go ahead.
Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of thy father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob.
Right.
And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people.
So he said, he's surely seeing the affliction. So in order to see something, you have to be there.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess he was down here.
You guess right.
So he was down here seeing the affliction. Okay. So continue.
And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters.
Right.
For I know.
So we know
their
the
sorrow.
taskmaster. So here is where Yahweh and, let's say Yahshua and Satan going to be duking it out.
Yeah, that's right.
No, really.
That's what it
is.
is.
He's going to show his power.
That's right.
And Satan, because Yahweh, the Pharaoh is a type of Satan. Just like we have right now. We can see. That's the reason I wanted to bring out a little bit of that, because you can see what's going on if you follow the trail and the detail a little bit. We don't have 10 hours to go through every portion of it. We jump around a little bit. But continue where you left off.
For I know their sorrows. Let me just, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
Right.
8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians.
So he said he came down to deliver them. Came down from where?
From heaven.
From heaven, right? In a shape and a form. So he's down here in person. And we always talk about Joshua, the son of Nun, and I'm not going to get into that, but, let's get into a little bit. Continue.
And to bring them up out of that land unto a good land and a large.
So they came down. Now, this is the promise that he made with Abraham. It's going to fulfill it now, bring him back up. Okay. So let's go where he gives the name.
13. And Moses said unto Elohim, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall...
So if I go down there, so if I come to you, under what name should I? Under Marta Serna? Not really. Under what name? Because his name is... He's Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua, and Yahshua is salvation, so he has to demonstrate also salvation. But he is... He's the one that caused it to exist. Everything exists under him.
That's
anyway.
right. That's right.
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to deviate if I continue. Let's stay on task.
Okay. And Moses said unto Elohim, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The Elohim of your fathers hath sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, What is his name?
So what is his name? Under what name why did he ask that question? Well, Moses was living in a in Egypt, he know they had many gods. You know, the god of this, the god of that, the river, the sun, the moon. I don't know how many. So he knows to ask that question. Also, Yahweh probably put it in, Yahweh give it, you know, to him to ask the question, you know.
That's right.
So continue a little bit.
What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And Elohim said unto Moses, Aya, Asher, Aya. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel.
So Aya, Asher, Aya is I will be what I will to be. So he wills to be Yahshua. He wills to be the creator. He wills to be anything. He is all in all. Please continue.
I will be hath sent me unto you. And Elohim said, moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
So that's his name. And it's up to, it's not,
change, right?
then, but it's then and now. You know, continue, because salvation is in the name of Yahshua.
That's
right. Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahshua. So when something is happening to you personally, if you call upon Yahshua, he'll save you.
Yeah,
a little bit.
he does.
Unless he won't teach you lessons. And he does do that. Please continue.
16. Go and gather the elders
I
of
can
Israel.
hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob appeared unto me.
So now I'm going to ask a quick question because if they were down here for such a long time, how did the elders know the Elohim of Jacob?
Abraham, yeah.
I would have that question, meaning the elders that came down with Joseph died, and they start worshiping Ra. And so when Moses go down and say, well, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how would they know that?
They knew who they were. But how do you prove it? They knew.
And that's something that we need to prove in the
Yeah.
future. I'm going to need to look it up a little bit. But continue.
Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Dang it. Thank you. 16. Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey.
So this is going back to the promised land, but we know that Canaan land is like Jerusalem above, or the most holy place if you look at the pattern. Now the pattern is Yahweh himself. Let me see here. He is the pattern. So he's coming down and bringing them back up, and he's going to go through a process to bring them up, and he's going to show his power a little bit. And you can see how he does it. Continue on.
And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt. And ye shall say unto him, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, hath met with us. And now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yahweh our Elohim. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go.
Hold on a second. Who said that?
It's got to be
Yahweh said that,
yeah,
right?
I think it's Yahweh talking.
So he's controlling Satan.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
He's
Oh,
controlling Satan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
That's right.
what's his name from the Russian dude? Yahweh's controlling him.
Yeah.
If you look at the other one, Yahweh's controlling him.
Yep.
Continue.
And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go. No, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty, but every woman shall borrow of their neighbor, and of her that sojourneth in her house, jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians.
So let's go where he destroyed them. So let's go to. So Yahweh uses the 10 major plagues to destroy Satan, Egypt, but mostly to show Satan who is in command, who is the King of Kings.
That's right. Do you want all the plagues? Do you want?
No. Let's jump to the last plague, where the firstborn.
12 and
so Moses went several times, almost 10 times to the king of, to Pharaoh, and, Yahweh hardened his heart every time, and he says, no, I will not do so. Yahweh destroyed that. By time he was done, Egypt would probably was a swamp, where you have garbage and it probably smelled a little bit. And let's go to the firstborn.
12 and 1 of Exodus.
12 and 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb.
So in the month you're talking about is the month of Abib, a.k.a. April for us. 10 days. Okay.
Every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house.
Okay.
And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls.
Right.
Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
So if you look here, he's pointing out to Yahshua. Yahshua is the firstborn. He's the only begotten son of Yahweh. Okay. It cannot be with blemish. Yahshua Elohim is perfect. You cannot have any blemish or stain or anything. Continue.
12 and 6. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
So the 10, another 4 days, okay.
And the whole assembly.
Showing forth when he's coming in the fourth age too.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
Right.
And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night.
So you notice that the blood is, if you look at the 10 Commandment movie, the blood was at the outside of the house, but the blood is inside the house.
Right. That's right.
Please continue.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof.
Well, you know, when when the Romans put Yeshua on the cross, before he got to the cross, they roasted him. They beat him up to death. He had stripes in, I think there's somewhere in Isaiah, it talks about that, Isaiah 53. Can you get that a little bit? You know, because we're going through some of the stuff and we should provide some sort of, you know, proof. Or, wow, I've been here almost.
Isaiah 53:4. Surely he had borne our pains and carried our diseases, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities.
Right.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him.
Right.
With his stripes we are healed.
Right.
All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and Yahweh had laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth.
Right.
He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears
Right.
is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. From prison and from judgment was he taken away, but in his generation who could tell that he was cut off from the land of the living for the transgression of my people?
That's good. Yeah. And I have the bell. Can you finish up there a little bit?
I think we were at, eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain.
So you, as you can see, there's 4 points here. Also, when this was the when I saw this, I was like, oh, now I get it, because I was in this class for a long time, for almost, I don't know, and I sat there, and then we used to talk blood, water, spirit, 40, blood, water, spirit, and I said, what blood, what water, what, you know, I used to say that to myself. I never got it, you know, till actually around 2000, when my mom died, and I got divorced, and I spent some time that where Yeshua started showing me stuff, cleared my mind, took me away from all my little worldly living, if that's what I would like to say, and you know, provided me with teachers to help me out a little bit. So we can sit there for a long time and not get it, you know. And he will reveal it to you in the appropriate time. But always remember this. He would always put you through a test. This teaching does not come without a test.
Yeah,
Knowing Yahweh does not come without a test.
that's correct.
You know, this, you know, it is, when things are going well, I'm always like, okay, you know, I'm like, I'm waiting for it, you know. Honestly, I do.
Wait for it,
You
wait
know,
for it.
I do. Things are going well, and I say, okay. And then there it is, bang, before you know it. That's how he operates. If you want to know him, it's not that easy. But anyway, no, it comes with a lot of pain. You know. And also, I will leave it in a little bit there because the bell ring. But I want to say that, and to all the prior members or people who have not come, you should come to class. If you can. I know we get busy. We get so busy, you know, but if we can make it, I'm going to be the first one. Marta, you better come to class. because I am the one that Wednesday is very hard for me. I work almost 10 hours. So, but if you can come to class, come to class. I know YouTube is available, but it's not the same.
Nope.
It's not the same.
You're right.
Also, I want to bring up a little bit before I get off the floor. You know, there were only 8 souls saved. You know,
Right.
and our class used to be
Bigger.
filled, and it's very small. And I know a lot of people watch it on YouTube, but I think you should come to class if you can. There's nothing that is more important
Yeah,
than saving your soul.
that's right.
You know, and that goes for me and for everyone else, if you can make it. I know I wanted to just show how Yahweh operates, you know, and I know we jumped to stuff, and I just wanted to take a little more time and
Yeah.
just read the scriptures. Everything is in the scriptures, and you can find it. And what in the seminar next week coming, he's just showing you from here what's going on, showing you Satan, you know, just showing you his operation. And that's just an example how Yahweh brought the children from Canaan land and, you know, taking them back up and all that they went through. And look at it as an example of things that goes on in your personal life,
Yep.
personal, work, and everything. And I thank you for the time. Praise Yahshua. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Dr. Serna. Our next speaker for today will be Dr. Andy Craig. Okay. Boy, she covered a lot of ground. All the way from the Abrahamic promise together the children of Israel coming out of the land of Egypt. That's a lot of territory. So, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to back up a little bit. Proverbs 29:18. Because this is a school, it is not a church. And the charts that you see before you are a product of a vision and a revelation that was given to the founder of this school, Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley, in 1931. Now, you're going to say, wait a minute, he was given a vision and a revelation direct from Yahweh Elohim. Yeah, he was. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in all the evidence that he has given us. And the charts that we have are absolute proof that he had a vision and a revelation, which is a necessary thing. Proverbs 29:18.
Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no prophetic vision, the people perish.
Now, this is over here in Proverbs, right? We want to read the law and the testimony in the so-called Old Testament, right? Where you have a vision and a revelation. If you don't have a vision and revelation, then what's going to happen?
The people perish.
Then we're all going to perish. We need to have a vision and a revelation of because Yahweh is spirit. John, what is it, 4:24?
4:24. Yahweh is spirit.
Now, Yahweh is spirit. Now, who's Yahweh? Yahweh says right here, Yahweh is spirit manifesting in the clouds, symbolizing eternity or Jerusalem above. Yahweh is the Father. Now, go ahead.
Yahweh is spirit.
Now, he's spirit. Okay? He's not physical, he's spirit. Now, what do we know about spirit? Okay, in the Elohim book, is it volume 1, page 27?
Yep. Page 27, Elohim.
Now, we have materials that we reference in here. And what I want people on YouTube to know is that these materials are available to you if you go to idmrlansing.blog and click on, what is it, more? Learn more. Then you can see there's a Google Drive there with all the materials that we quote and that we use. The Elohim books are there. It's a valuable resource.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? So go ahead. We're going to find out about Yahweh, who is spirit. Read on.
Page 27. Yahweh is pure spirit, or Yahweh is all in all is the title of what you're looking for.
All right, Yahweh is all in all. This is on page, the Elohim book, volume 1. Okay, page 27.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Inasmuch as we seek and desire to explain and show our concept and understanding of what Yahweh Elohim is, what, where, when, and how he created or formed the angelic host.
Now, he created and formed the angelic host, which is pictured over here on what we refer to as the ages and dispensations chart. Well, the first age is the creative age. He created the angelic creation and then the physical creation. And that all happened in, shall we say, the land of eternity. Okay? This did not happen in the realm of time.
That's right.
Time is not eternal.
That's correct.
Okay? How do we measure time? Don't we measure time by the celestial bodies that are in the so-called heavens? Isn't that where we get? A day is one rotation of the earth. A year is one revolution of the earth around the sun, right? So we use the things that are physical to measure time. And time is not eternal. Time has a beginning. Time has an ending.
That's correct.
So go ahead and read.
The angelic host and the heaven and the earth. It is also necessary that we produce sufficient concrete evidence that our concept is both scripturally and scientifically verified by other witnesses.
So we're going to have to provide some concrete evidence because, see, over here, if you look on this chart where it says vision, a vision can be a revelation or a vision can be a delusion, all right? Now, we just heard about the vision that was given back here to Joseph had a dream, right? Where he was going to, his brothers and his fathers were going to bow down to him, right? And they said, no, that's not going to happen. But that's exactly what happened after they came down into Egypt where Joseph was. And Joseph had interpreted Pharaoh's dream. They did bow down to Joseph because Joseph was the big guy. Besides Pharaoh, who was one step over, over everything. So but we were trying to find something out about Yahweh Elohim as he really is and actually exists. Go ahead and read.
We have previously propounded to some extent that Yahweh is all in all.
Now, Yahweh is pure spirit. Yahweh is all in all. He's the source, the substance, the limits, and the bounds of everything. Now, where is Yahweh? Is he above the earth, moon, and stars? No. If we go over to Acts the 17th chapter.
He's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Acts 17 and 24.
Okay, good.
Yahweh who made the world and all the things therein.
Stop. Yahweh made the world and everything in it.
Yeah,
Everything in it.
that's correct.
And everything bears witness to the fact that he made the world and everything in it. Now, you can see by the trees, by the veins and arteries that there's wise in everything. He put his signature on what he made. He also made you, right? And when we get into this physical body by the tabernacle pattern, we can see that this is amazing miracle. The things that happen from the time that the spermatic fluid enters the vaginal cavity and it comes in contact with this ovum to make this baby after 40 weeks, it's awe-inspiring.
It is.
It's a miracle. Go ahead.
Were you done?
That scripture wasn't done. You want to finish?
Yeah, we were in Acts.
Okay.
Yahweh who made
Acts-
the world and all things therein. Read on.
Seeing that he is ruler of heaven and earth.
Now he's ruler of heaven and earth.
He
So
dwelleth.
don't think you're in charge. He's in charge.
Yeah, that's good.
Go ahead.
He dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
Now, he doesn't dwell in temples made with men's hands. What are you talking about? In other words, I can't go to the church of my choice down on the corner?
No.
I don't want to do that?
No, you don't.
That's not the Lord's, because don't they say, welcome to the house of the Lord?
They lying to you.
Huh? And didn't we all believe that lie at some point? Or if we didn't, we just didn't care about what they
Right.
talk about all the time, right? But he doesn't dwell in what? Temples made with men's hands.
Made with hands.
Where does he-
Neither
we need to find out where he dwells. Go ahead.
neither is worshipped with men's hands,
Now,
as
he's not-
though he needed anything.
He's not worshipped with men's hands either. What does that mean? Well, what do you get for the work of your hands if
Money.
you're doing a job?
Money.
You get money, right? Oh, somebody called out filthy lucre. Look out. Okay. But the product of the work of your hands is cash, right? And it says right on your dollar bill, what does it say? In money we trust. No, it says in God we trust,
God
right?
they talking about.
Because we have complete faith that the American economic system is not going to go downhill and hit the bottom, and all our money is going to be as worthless as the paper that it's printed
Come
on.
on. It's already there.
Don't you realize that that's a possibility?
It's
I
already
mean, we have this belief that money means something. It has value. It's all it's a smokescreen. It really is. So go ahead. So you don't. He's not worshipped with men's hands. In other words, he doesn't need your money. Where is it over in Isaiah where it says, "The cattle upon 1,000 hills are mine"? What are you going to give me?
Right.
You think you can find that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue reading.
It's over in Isaiah.
I gotta find it.
Yeah, hang on to Acts for a sec.
Yeah.
I know we all have our electronic devices handy, and we can look up cattle and 1,000
That's
in the
right.
Bible search, and it'll come up right before our eyes.
Yep. That's right.
Isn't it marvelous, this little thing we got? Oh, you know, they call that a tablet, right? Well, what did Moses get when he came down from Mount Sinai? Isn't he given a tablet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they call it a smartphone too, right?
Psalms 50 and 10 through 12. Psalms.
So neither is he worshipped with men's hands as though he needed anything, is where we stopped in Acts. Now, where are we at in Isaiah?
Psalms 50 and 12.
Okay,
I-
Psalms.
If I were hungry, I would not tell thee.
Now,
For the-
who's speaking here?
It's got to be Yahweh.
Got to be Yahweh Elohim, right? If I was hungry, I would not tell thee. Why? Read on.
I would not tell thee, for the world is mine.
The world is his. We're going to find that out when we continue in Acts. Go ahead.
And the fullness thereof.
And everything in it, the world and everything in it is his. You know, we think it's ours. And don't we fight in war over it? I mean, from when did, all the way on down from Cain and Abel back here, has there been a time in the history of man when there isn't a war going on somewhere? I don't think so. Go ahead, read.
Here it is. Psalms, it's 10. They gave me the, okay, 50 and 10. For every beast of the forest is mine,
Every beast of the forest is his. Read on.
and the cattle upon 1,000 hills.
And all the cattle upon the thousands and thousands of hills. Go ahead.
I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine.
They're all his. They all paraded before Adam back here, too, to see what he would call them. All right? Go back to Acts. So I'm not
Acts
worshipped with men's hands as though I needed anything. Because why? Read on.
Seeing he giveth to all life
It's because he gives to all life.
and breath.
Wait a minute. He gave you this life. Your mommy and daddy didn't give you this life. Yahweh Elohim gave you this life.
That's right.
But he gave it to you for a specific purpose, too. He gave it to you so you could become your own man and make yourself a big man in the world. No? No? Not at all? mean Elon Musk buying Twitter and doing all that stuff doesn't make him a big, no, right? That's not why he gave it to you. All right, well, let's find out why he gave us life and breath and all things. Go ahead and read.
Seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things.
Now, he gave you life, he gave you breath, and with your breath you call on his name and honor him constantly your whole life through. Because you're going, now, am I forcing that?
No, you're not.
He put that on you, the breath of life, as a signature of who you are made. Who made you and who you owe all back to is Yahweh. Go ahead.
26th verse. And hath made of one
made
man.
of one blood, all nations of the earth, right? Made of one blood. Yeah, look at here. Who's the first man in the world? Adam. Where were everybody else that came out of and into the world from Adam's loins? So he made everybody from Adam on down, right? You guys do the genealogy research online and do all that stuff. That's your great. I can't remember how many greats there are in that. There's a lot of greats in there. He's the greatest grandpappy. Go ahead.
And had made of one man all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth.
And we dwell on all the face of the earth, don't we? And you know what? We can't go anywhere else either. We can't go to the moon and live on the moon unless we take a big supply of earth stuff with us. We can't go there. We can't go to Mars and live on Mars either, folks, because Mars, by the pattern, is just another type of the altar of sin sacrifice. All right, because it's the red planet. All right, go ahead.
And had determined the times before appointed.
Now, Yahweh Elohim has determined the times before appointed. Now, that's something that we never came in contact with until we got into this class, was how he has set up the dispensations and ages according to a pattern, folks, and is executing his counsel all the way on down. And it started back here. Time starts back here with Adam with his expulsion from the garden. Time ends down here with the universal revelation of Yahshua the Messiah from heaven. That's the end of time. Time is over now because we go back into eternity to be with Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua. All right? Go ahead and read.
And the bounds of their habitation.
Now, he's chosen the bounds of our habitation, folks. We are bound to this earth plane. We're not... You know what? Even if they think they see another earth out there, we can't never get there in our lifetime because it's so vast and distant away. And they got these new space telescopes out there because what they're trying to do is they're trying to see the end of the universe. They're looking for its Alpha and Omega, which the Alpha and Omega of the universe is right here. It's Yahweh Elohim. But they're out there looking for that stuff, and they've got this new picture out now where it's called, what's it called, the generation of the planets. That it's just so marvelous that the James Webb telescope just saw that it's supposed to be the sun generator of the universe. Yeah, they just got a higher resolution picture of it and all this. But you know what? What are they really looking for out there? They're looking for evidence of Yahweh Elohim and denying the fact that it's right before their eyes and they can't see it because it's right under your nose. Go ahead and read.
27th verse. That they should seek him, if happily they might feel after him.
Now, if we backed up a little bit, that's why we have life and breath and all things, is so that we might seek Yahweh Elohim. What is it, Isaiah 55 and 6?
Isaiah 55 and 6.
Oh, you already got it?
Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found.
Oh, so we should be seeking Yahweh with our life and breath and everything that he's given to us. Yes. That's what we should be doing with our time down here, is seeking him. So seek ye Yahweh while, and then Isaiah here in the prophets is saying, seek him while he may be found.
Call ye upon him while he is near.
Call upon him while he's near. He's not far away. Folks, he's not above the earth, the sun, and the sky, and out on the third star to the left from the fixture of Orion. He's, look at, because, well, we haven't got there yet, but seek him. We haven't got where it says, in him we live, move, and have our being. We haven't got there yet, have we?
Right.
So seek him while he may be found. Call upon him while he's near. Read on.
Let the wicked forsake his way.
What's
and
the wicked, folks? Well, the wicked is the one that's not seeking Yahweh Elohim. Yeah. Go ahead.
And let the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Give up your thoughts. I think Yahweh, no, it's not what you think.
Right. That's right.
It's laid down the way Yahweh Elohim laid it down. Go ahead.
And let him return unto Yahweh.
Return unto Yahweh. Okay, we all came out that way. So, are we done there? Go back to Acts.
And he will have mercy upon him.
Yes, we return to Yahweh. He will have mercy on our soul.
And to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon.
Abundantly pardon. Boy, you know what? Since we're all imprisoned in these little cells, this is what this is. We're imprisoned in these cells, right? So that's like being in prison. We need to be pardoned. We need a pardoning from the only one who can pardon us, and that's Yahshua the Messiah. He's the only one that can grant us pardoning. Okay, well, back in Acts.
Acts 17 and 27. They should seek him,
right.
if haply they might feel after
if
him.
Perhaps we might feel after him and find him. Though he's not far from every one of us.
Yep, though
right?
he be
He's
not far
like
from
we
every
already
one of
found
us.
out, he's not up above the earth, moon, and stars, folks. But well, then where is he? For in him
we live and move
Wait a
and
minute.
have our being.
In Yahweh Elohim we live and move and have our being? Yes. Yes, there's nothing outside of pure spirit. Nothing is outside of pure spirit. Everything exists within pure spirit or Yahweh Elohim. Go ahead.
As some of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring.
We're also his offspring.
For as much then as we are the offspring of Yahweh, we ought not to think that gold or silver or stone graven by art and man's device can be like the Most High.
Right. That's one thing you're not supposed to do is build an idol. And that includes yourself. You can be your own idol. Go ahead.
In the times of this ignorance, Yahweh winked at.
Now, he's winked at this ignorance. He's given you an opportunity to find and know him as he really is and actually exists. Seize the opportunity. Go ahead.
But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent, because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness.
Now, see, he has appointed a day when he will judge the world in righteousness, and it's right down here in this eschatology plate, right here, where he's going to judge the world in righteousness, right?
By that man.
Go ahead.
By that man who he had ordained, whereof he had given proof.
He's going to judge the world in righteousness by that man who he hath ordained. Who's that?
Yahshua.
That's Yahshua the Messiah. Go ahead.
Wherefore he had given proof unto all men that he had raised him from the dead. And when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, and others said, we will hear thee again of this matter.
Now, because he's raised him from the dead. In other words, Yahshua died, buried, and he raised again the third day according to the Scriptures. Right. Now, give me Romans 10 and 1. Let's read Romans 10. No, I think we're done with the Elohim book.
Romans 10 and 1. Brethren, my heart desireth and pray to Yahweh for Israel is, that they might be saved.
Now, these are Paul's word, right? Because we have intercepted Paul's mail and put it in the book. Because we're reading somebody else's mail is essentially what we're doing. All right, but this is Paul, who was the last to see Yahshua on the road to Emmaus and gave him a vision and a revelation, okay? And changed him from being a persecutor of the assembly. He was out there to gather them up and put them in jail or imprison them or kill them. Because in Acts the 7th chapter, you'll find out he stood by and held their coats while they stoned Stephen to death. All right, and so he was greatly changed. So go ahead and start over, please.
Brethren, my heart desire and prayer to Yahweh for Israel is that they might be saved.
So his heart's desire and prayer for Israel is that they might be saved. And there is a way to be saved. Go ahead.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge.
No, they have a zeal for Yahweh, but it's not according to knowledge. Now, what does he mean according to knowledge? Stop, put your finger in that, and go over to Matthew, 11:29.
Matthew 11:29. Take my
Start
yoke.
at 27.
Okay, Matthew 11:27. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father.
Now, this is a red letter edition, so we know that these are the words of the Messiah speaking,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son.
No, no man knows the Father but the Son. No man knows the Son but the Father. And there's another phrase that goes along with that.
And he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him.
He to whomsoever the Son will reveal him to. Okay? Now, that covers this because Yahweh Elohim proceeds to give Dr. Henry Kilver Kinley a vision in Revelation in 1931 that he could preach the gospel to everyone that will hear. Right? Okay, so go ahead, Matthew.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
Now, Yahshua's saying, come unto him, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. What are you laboring and heavy laden for? Well, you got to consider that when he spoke these words, this was before his death, burial, and resurrection, so he was under the auspices of the old covenant, the old commandment, and they had all those 10 commandments and another, how many? 600 and some ordinances that go along with it. That's what they were burdened and heavy laden with back there, was this Old Testament law. Now, this is the old law of carnal ordinances that was fulfilled by Yahshua the Messiah, nailed to the cross. And over here, down here, the true New Testament is not written in a book, folks. It's written in our heart and in our mind. Okay? So go ahead.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
Now come unto Yahshua, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and he will give us rest.
Yes.
What's he going to give us rest from? Well, he's talking to the Hebrews here, so he's going to give them a rest from this old 10 Commandment law, this old law that was given to Moses and the children of Israel out here in the wilderness of Sinai. He's going to give them rest from practicing the law that way to worship him. Read on.
And I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you.
Now, we know what a yoke is, right? It's a tool for beast of burden, right? Go ahead.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
Now, what are we supposed to do? We're
Learn
supposed to
of me.
take his yoke upon him and go to the church of our choice.
No. No.
No. We're supposed to learn of him?
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do, is learn of him. Seek ye, we just covered seek over there in Acts, right?
Right.
We're supposed to learn of him. Read on.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest upon your souls.
You'll find rest unto your souls. Okay, go back to where we were.
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Okay, thank you very much, readers. Good job, help me out.
Okay, this is still Romans 10 and 3.
Right.
For they, being ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness, and goeth about to establish their own righteousness.
Now see, that's what happened to mankind. They're ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness, who is Yahshua the Messiah. They go about to establish their own righteousness. In other words, they make up stories, and what else do they do? Make up church doctrine. Right? Go ahead.
And have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yahweh.
And have not submitted themselves to the righteousness of Yahweh. The righteousness of Yahweh, that's Yahshua the Messiah. Haven't submitted yourselves to learn of Yahshua and what his job really was back here. All right? And how he's come down all the way from pure spirit down into shape and form, and then down into the physical creation down here, and how he has fulfilled the law and the prophets. The Hebrews aren't under that anymore. And for everybody who's not a Hebrew, if you thought you were under the law and the prophets, you were wrong, because it was never given to the Gentiles to follow either. Go ahead.
4th verse. For the Messiah is the end of the sacrificial law for the obtaining of righteousness to everyone that believeth.
Okay, so that's the end of the sacrificial law for everyone that believeth. And I believe we are out of time. We will come back. Come back. There's a lot more to learn. You can't learn this in 2 hours. You know what? You can't learn this all in 50 years. You don't have. The website that I pointed to has so much material on it that you're now engulfed in it. You don't have enough time in your life to do all that. So come back and praise Yahshua.
Thank you, Dr. Craig. That brings a close to our class for today. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Any comments or questions? Indeed. Announcements are as follows. Classes are held every Wednesday and Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Our after-class question and answer period is the third Friday of each month. The next one will be November 18th. Members, ministers, we ask that you please come to class, be on time, dress appropriately so that you may be called as speakers. Got a little announcement here. Brethren, please see the attachment in your emails sent this morning. It outlines the topic of our upcoming seminar this week or next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the topic is Satan divided against himself. All right, and there is a brief choir meeting after class. All right, that concludes our announcements. Let's all rise for the doxology so that we may be dismissed. I will be quoting the last 2 verses of the book of Jude from the Holy Name Bible. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise Elohim our Savior, through Yahshua the Messiah, our Sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, both before all time and now and ever. Let us all jointly say, Hallelujah.
There was this mountain so high I could not climb. For every step that I would take forward, Satan put me 3 steps behind. And there was this river so deep I thought I'd drown. Then a voice touched my soul oh so gently. It was Yahshua when I cried out. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over. He said, peace, be still, child, let me make you my soldier for truth. It's such beauty, yeah, yeah. Wear it as your armor. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over and over and over and over. Troubles on my right side and loneliness to my left. I didn't think I belonged anywhere. I even cried when I slept. The burdens got so heavy and I changed my name to despair. darkness came a light and someone standing there, my Savior in his glory. I ran for comfort when he said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over. He said, peace, be still, child, let me make you my soldier for true. It's such beauty, yeah, yeah. Wear it as your armor. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over and over and over and over. You should open, shut and knock at your door. I did, and I know just what I'm pressing towards. I'm so glad I turned aside to see this great, great sight. All his sheep know his voice. From the beginning I had no choice. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over. He said, peace, be still, child, let me make you my soldier for truth. It's such beauty, yeah, yeah. Wear it as your armor. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over and over and over and over and over, yeah. Peace, be still, children, peace, be still, children, peace, be still, children.
I don't have to worry no more. No, no. I don't. Yeshua walks inside me all the way. He guides my footsteps again. I don't have to be insecure anymore. No, 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 never. I don't have to be insecure anymore. Oh, no, no. And I know that He walks inside me. Every step of the way. I'm so glad that He guides. Each and every day. Whoa, never in Yeshua the Messiah, I don't have to be alone no more. 'Cause He sent the vision. Whoa, never, I don't have to be alone no more. 'Cause I finally said He'd be with me. And I'm trusting in Yeshua. And I know He will. Every step of the way. I'm so glad that He guides. Each and every day. Whoa, I don't have to be alone no more. 'Cause the Father said He'd be in me. Whoa, never. 'Cause I'm trusting in Yeshua. Whoa, never, never no more. 'Cause I'm trusting in the Savior. And I know He is the Savior of the world. Savior of the world. Savior of the world. I'm gonna trust in Yeshua. 'Cause I know my Savior. And I'm telling you, He won't leave me alone. I know He won't leave me alone. I know He won't leave me all by myself. 'Cause I'm trusting in Yeshua. And I know He will. Every step of the way. I'm so glad that He guides. Each and every day. Whoa, 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 whoa. The Father so loved the world, He came and gave His only begotten Son. Oh, no, 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 never, never alone. I don't, you don't, we don't have to worry no more. Never alone. Trusting in my Father, trusting in my Savior. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Never alone. Never alone. To worry no more. No, no. I don't. Yeshua walks inside me. Oh.
again.